Three terms you come across quite often are marketing, promotion, and advertising. These words seem to be interchangeable as they are used interchangeably quite often. However, they're not quite the same. And to be frank with you, in layman's terms, they essentially mean the same thing and the difference is minuscule. A quick Google search of the word promotion will show you that some similar words are advertising and marketing. However, if you're watching this video, I'll assume you're not a layman, you don't aspire to be part of the average. You're probably some sort of professional or aspire to be a professional. Hence, it's important to understand the difference between these terms. When you look at the term marketing as a gerund, as a noun, it refers to a set of activities carried out by a marketing department. Essentially, the things that are done to satisfy and retain customers. So this takes into account doing research to understand consumer tastes and preferences, and then developing a product in accordance with those tastes and preferences, and then distributing that product to your customers and communicating what you have. So letting the market know that we have this product. To understand marketing better, you look at the 4 P's, the very famous 4 P's, which are product, place, price, and promotion. So product refers to the actual thing that you're selling, but you can't just sell anything. You have to do research to see what customers want. Through that research, you then develop a product. But merely developing a product is not good enough. It has to get to customers. That's where the next P comes in, which is place, which refers to how you get your product to your end user. So for example, there's online through something like Amazon or a company's custom website. Or you could have actual physical stores set up around a country, around a city, around the world, through which customers can go to and purchase products. And the distribution channels, such as like a large manufacturer, say like Apple, making phones, and then they sell those phones to retailers, so like an electronics chain, which then sells those phones to end users. Or even another situation is whereby a large manufacturer sells things in bulk to a wholesaler, and that wholesaler then sells those products to retailers, who then sell those products to end users. So there are different ways of getting products to your customers. But all products need some sort of value. What is the selling price of that product? Which is the next P, price. People purchase products based on their means. So in order to set a selling price, you have to take into account your costs. So the cost of production, you look at overhead costs like the cost of research and development. You look at things like transportation costs, as we mentioned, place. You have to look at economic situations. So for example, in a developing country, you might need to set prices lower because people have lower incomes as compared to developed countries. You have to take into account the demand and supply. If there's far greater demand than there is supply, that is favorable to a company, hence you can sell your prices at a higher price. So once you understand what customers want, you develop your product and then you distribute it, right? You transport it to your customer's place and you set a price, taking into account all the costs that you've incurred. But now you have to let people know that your brand exists. You have to let people know your product exists and how they can get it. Let them know that, hey, we have our online store. Let them know that we have a new product. Let them know the improvements. Let them know why your product is better than everyone else's. So as you can tell, promotion is merely a part of marketing. Promotion refers to communicating the value of a company and its products, communicating the value of a brand. And the various ways of doing this. This could be through advertising, like say you see billboards and they advertise a new and improved model of the vehicle. It could be in the form of public relations. Say a CEO or a spokesperson is giving an interview to the public about their quarterly earnings, is giving an interview about their mission and vision statement and all the CSR initiatives. It could be in the form of like discounts and promotions, showing people that we have a 50% sale right? You have to let the public know about these things. So as we've established, marketing is a pretty big general term. It also encompasses some of the managerial roles of a marketing department, like forming a marketing budget, recruiting staff for the marketing department, and doing research, not only on what product should be developed, but also looking at customers, competitors, the prices which they are setting. Now we look at promotion. Promotion is merely the communication aspect of marketing, which is what most of us are going to see. We're not going to see the company setting budgets. We're not going to see the company recruiting employees, or maybe we'll see the recruiting if they put up like adverts for recruiting. So what we see are the adverts. We don't see the back end of marketing, as I mentioned, like the research process. We're not going to see that. So when you see billboards, when you see social media communication, when you look at the social media pages of companies, this is all promotion. And a form of promotion is advertising. Advertising is a paid form of non-personal communication. That's a definition from a pretty famous marketing guy, Philip Kotler. If you're a marketing student, you'll probably come across his name quite often. So by non-personal or one-way communication, essentially you cannot interact with this message. So when you see a billboard, you cannot interact with that billboard. If there's a billboard which says new and improved model, buy the new BMW, for example, you can't walk up to the billboard and interact with it and say, oh no, that's false, that's not true, or wow, I do like this car. With a salesperson, with personal selling, that's a two-way form of communication. You can interact with the salesperson and ask questions. That is a form of promotion. It's a form of two-way communication, while advertising is one-way. In addition to that, advertising is paid for. So a company, like say for example, Samsung, will pay Instagram to make a post and spread it to multiple people. So once it's paid and it's one way, that is advertising. So it's a pretty technical difference. And for the most part, in layman's terms, people won't really care whether it's paid for one way, two way. We all just see these companies trying to get our attention. We identify that they're trying to sell us something, they're trying to make themselves known. But from a marketing perspective, if you're a marketing student, you're a professional in marketing, this is a pretty, important difference to take into account. The differences between these three terms, just if I'm to sum them up, is firstly, advertising is paid for and it's one way, meaning that you just send a message to the general public and you don't get any feedback from them. And you have to pay another company to spread this message. And then promotion is in general the communication of a company and its offerings. So this can be two-way, it can be one-way. For example, in personal selling, where you have the salesperson, say, going door to door, asking people to purchase something, there's a two-way interaction. The salesperson can say something to the prospective customer, and the customer can ask questions, and they interact with each other. And since the salesperson is part of the company, they're not really being paid. They are paid a salary, but the salesperson is a part of the company. There's no external agency that's being paid, like with advertising. Then marketing is the overarching activity that tries to understand customers and satisfy them. So from doing research to understand customer tastes and preferences and trends in the market, to developing that product, figuring out distribution channels, and communicating, which is a promotion part, communicating the products that they have, the prices at which they're available, the different places to get it. That's what marketing is. So as I mentioned earlier, you should take into account the order. Marketing is big and broad, then promotion is a particular aspect of marketing which focuses on communication, and advertising is a particular tool or particular form of promotion whereby a company or a marketer pays an external agency to spread a message. So that's the difference between marketing, advertising, marketing, promotion, and advertising. The difference in layman's terms, when you're just speaking with, in the general public to anyone who's not in marketing, the difference is very minuscule, it's very small, and doesn't really mean much. But in marketing circles, if you're a marketing student writing an exam, you could be asked a question like, what's the difference between marketing, promotion, and advertising? And if you work in the marketing space, you're going to want to show that you know what these things mean. Otherwise, you might come across as unprofessional. So there we go. Thanks for watching Marketing Cap.